What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. And this video I'm about to discuss with you and show you, it might ruffle some feathers, it might raise some eyebrows, it might anger some people, and that's a sad, unfortunate thing. But this video has to happen because I have to give you my opinion of the 3 worst classes in the game. Yes, I know. This is not fact. This is not, law or anything. This is just my opinion. So please, don't get too angry if your favorite class is mentioned as the worst class in the game. But this is my opinion. Now, the third class is the least of the bad ones, and the first one is the worst of the worst. So what is the class that I picked as third that isn't as bad, but is bad? Well, you guys know it. We all love it. It's the Ranger. Now, the Ranger, I've been trying to use it a little bit more, and I'm liking it a little bit more. It definitely has moved up as far as, like, the worst classes in the game for me. It's not, number 2 anymore. It's now number 3. We have a new number 2 spot. The Ranger, the main problem with the Ranger is the main problem with the number 2 class as well. And I'm not judging these based on the gear they can equip or the weapons they can use. This, worst classes is strictly based on the unique skills to the class. So, I'm not judging Vice as a character. I'm not saying, you have to use daggers, or swords are better, or axes, or fist weapons. Oh, get a gun, he's better with a gun. This is just his raw skill set. These are the skills that are unique to him. This is what gives him the third worst on the list. So, obviously he has a wide variety of weapons, which is kind of good. Well, wide variety, I wouldn't say wide, but he has a good selection, okay? We got the HP, MP, they don't matter, everybody has those. The resist, petrify, and resist charm don't matter. Everybody has access to that. Pincer attack is okay, but he only has pincer attack 2, which is, really weird. Yeah, steadfast, I don't really... I guess, steadfast could be good if you fall off cliffs a lot. If you're in POTD and you don't want to get knocked off a cliff, I guess. Double attack is good. Double attack is a good skill. Lobber is amazing. One of the best skills in the game, in my opinion. Back attack really is useless due to how back attacks and side attacks work right now. First aid's alright, first aid's good. And then he has a recruit skill. So we have 3 skills to work with, maybe 4 if we want to be generous. We have double attack, lobber, we could throw steadfast and pincer in there, and then we'll say first aid. So we got 5 skills of value. And maybe HP or MP depending on what you're trying to do. So not a lot of build options or choices as far as skills go is the number 1 problem. And it's almost like you have to run lobber on him just to make him useful. And I feel double attack is a very strong auto skill. And you could go bow, one hand, and then offhand bow, one-hand sword, whatever, one of each. Or you could go 2-handed crossbow or 2-handed bow, I guess. But I just feel then you're not using double attack, which not a lot of classes get double attack. So I just feel like that's kind of silly not to utilize it, but that's my opinion. So that leaves us with 1 more slot, which I threw into HP. Now, like I said, first aid is situational, and it is good, but, I mean, how often are you getting hit by stop? How many of you are you... I mean, maybe if we're talking, San Bronza or something, or, really way up there where the enemies are, super OP. But I don't find back attack, like I said, is broken, so... As in, it doesn't really work. That's it. I mean, you're going to run steadfast, pincer attack, lobber, or double attack. And this is why the class is bad. It doesn't have a lot of skill options. Like I said, you can get a really good set of armor. You can get, late game daggers that have, really great, you got poison on them or whatever. But this doesn't make doesn't make the argument that the class itself is lacking in skills. You can't get more skills. You can't swap out skills. So I feel a lot of people will argue, which, it makes sense, somebody says, oh, this class sucks. Well, they'll say, well, you got the wrong gear on them, you're using the wrong weapons. Well, that's for any class. You could say any class sucks and then switch weapons and they're good. But this class sucks because the skills suck. Except Lobber. Lobber's great. And I've been talking about this for way too long, so we got to move on to number 2. But that's what I want to point out to people that, try to say, oh, just give him these weapons, he's a better character. I'm just saying the class. We can make Vice, I'll make him a freaking warrior, and he'll, we can make it work. It's not Vice that's the problem, it's the Ranger class and the skills associated with it. So number 2, this is the one that's going to be, controversial. If you watched one of my earlier videos, recent videos, I made this judgment. The Vartan. The Vartan is one of the One of the worst classes in the game. Now, hold on. Hold on. All you Canopus lovers. I love my boy Canopus. He was a legend from Chapter 1 all the way through Chapter 4. This guy, he was ahead of the curve. He is an awesome character. I love Canopus. I dislike the Vartan class. Let's make that clear, okay? Canopus is my boy. He is cool. The birds like him. Like, he's literally a bird. So, I mean, the birds love the guy. So he is not a bad character. His stats are great. His growths are good. He's good. It's the Vartan class I have problems with, and I'm going to tell you why. I kind of mentioned this in a video a few days ago, but you know, it doesn't matter what we give him. He has axes and bows. I mean, you can swap that around and everything. But like I said, this is about the skills unique to the class. And as you can see, he literally has 2. He has 2 skills that are unique to Vartan. And both of them, this is almost, unless you're surrounding yourself in the back line to like get a chance of this activating on your friendly units, this is pointless. This one's alright. Like, I don't mind Huapango wins. Like, I feel like it's okay, but Stagger, and they have to be right next to you, I don't know. I just feel like you could do better, but it is good. But this is too situational unless you're playing like backline or, you know, because True Strike, I don't know. Maybe on the front line. But this is it. So, I mean, obviously, you're going to run these 2 because unless you're trying to recruit something, you're never going to run these. You might run HP, maybe. I could see that. Or maybe MP, I guess, but probably more HP. And if you're not using a bow and a one-hand, what's your third? So say I'm just using a two-hander on him or something, or I'm using a crossbow. Then I gotta throw something else in, so yeah, I'd probably throw HP on. But this class Vartan itself, not Canopus, I want to make that distinction, because a lot of people seem to like think I'm saying the unit is bad, like the character itself. No, I'm saying the class that's unique to him, because he's the only person that can be this class. It just lacks in so many ways. Yeah, you know, you can use magic, which I thought was really cool at first, but remember, it's only the single target, which is good. It's still good. He does have the versatility. I'll give Vartan this. Looking outside of the skills, what it has access to, the fact that I can use a bow, the fact that I can have magic to begin with, and the fact that I can have, you know, a melee weapon and still be viable, and makes it really great. Now, let's pretend like he can't fly, because that's just a racial thing, like a Hawkman, like, you know, the bird people get that ability. So I'm just talking about a Vartan. If we could slap Vartan onto a human, would it be good? I don't think so. I don't think if you made a Vartan human, because like Canopus's major strength is his movement as a character, which he can fill a lot of other classes, like Buccaneer is great for him. You know, I heard a lot of people do that. But swapping him off Vartan is probably a really good thing to do, because it just falls off. But like I said, he's great throughout the majority of the game. Like, 75-80% of the game, he's a solid choice. But I find once you get into Chapter 4, Palace of the Dead, you're doing the Elemental Temples, you're doing San Bronza, you're doing all the post-game really hard stuff, you're not using him as a Vartan. Or if you are, then you must have some of the best gear on him, the best armor, the best weapons to compensate for the fact that the skills aren't there. And that's what this is about. The skills on the Vartan, they're non-existent. He has nothing that makes him wonderful in the skill department, and that is why it is number 2 on the list. Now, number one, you all saw this coming if you know me. Yep, that's the Octopus. Yep. Octopus is the worst class in the game, except if you have water available. If you have water, he's playable, and I just mean playable. That's all I mean. Water, Octopus is playable. No water, don't even bring it. And that is why he is the worst class. That is why the Octopus is bad. It's because it needs water to be relevant, and I don't know how much water is in the Palace of the Dead, but I haven't seen any. So I guess I gotta go deeper. But unless there's water on the map, no reason to bring this class. Granted, now I will defend it and say it does have good skill selection, which is what I usually base this off of. You know, like I said, the last 2 classes I talked about, I was only critiquing this. I wasn't critiquing their weapons, their gear, what you could turn them into. So, you know, Dash is good. Aquaveil allows it to be in water when it's not in water, but that's an auto skill. So in order to even use any ability, any skill, you have to hope this procs on the turn. And then Black Mucus is pretty nice. It can be useful. And I mean, Poison Rain is probably the main bread and butter of this guy, because it's an AoE poison attack with an area of 3 and a range of 5, which is pretty insane. Blue Spiral, you know, Maelstrom, these are all good, these are all acceptable, but this is where you're going to be doing your pain. But the problem is, look at the mind on this guy. 142 mind. That's I don't think anybody even has 142 on my whole way. Got 148. Does anybody even have lower? My damn warrior has more mind. So it's cool that I can do poison, but it's probably gonna be resisted unless the enemy has lower mind than I do. And at this point in the game, I don't know. I don't know, you know. So I'm not gonna touch too much on the octopus because I've made a couple videos already on it. But if it just had access to water, or if it didn't need water, or every map had some form of water, it would be a very viable unit, but it is not, and it is the only unit in the game that relies on a certain terrain type to be even useful, which I find it's almost unfair, you know? Like that I have to have, you know, it's the only one that relies on a specific type. And in the PSP version, the octopus was a lot better too, so let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my 3 choices of the worst classes, or do you disagree? Tell me why a Vartan, not Canopus, why a Vartan is good. Tell me why a Ranger is good, not Vice, but Ranger. What makes Ranger good, other than just switching up their gear and armor and weapons? Like, because like I said, you can kind of do that with any class. I want to know what skill combos would work, why you run what skills you run. That would really interest me. Maybe I shouldn't run those 2 skills on Canopus. Maybe I shouldn't run, you know, maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe running the 2 wind skills is a bad idea. Maybe doing bow and axe is a bad idea. Maybe I just do 2-handed crossbow on him or something, you know, and then give him HP and give him MP, I guess, so he can cast more spells or something, you know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let me know, guys. I really would love to know. Hopefully you understand this video isn't like hating on anything. It's just my opinion, and it's strictly based on the skills that the class offers, not necessarily the weapons it can use or the gear it can get, because like I said, obviously that can fix a lot of problems. A lot of Canopus's Vartan problems, you know, you can fix with better gear and weapons, obviously, but his skills, we can't fix those. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the support and everything, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later, guys. Peace.